Peace up, this is Crumbs, back with Six Step Inc. here at the F.A.M Fest 23rd with CROS1, Freestyle Session, the founder, creator. Freestyle Session you started in 97 if I'm correct, right?
Yeah, November 97.
November 97, lock that date, remember, know your history. My crew, we have a lot of personal history at Freestyle Session, you know. I don't know how many times we entered that shit, but a lot. I know, I'm gonna brag for a second, I won it 5 times. Okay, I'm sorry, okay, let me get that out.
Nobody's counting though, right?
Nobody's counting, who's counting, right? Kobe. But yeah, so honestly, I've told you this before, it's really my favorite event to go to, and I always support. I've only missed one, dude. Only missed one, because I remember I was in China, I was like, fuck, I can't make it.
I remember one year, it was like the earlier ones where like there was like a Guinness Book of World Records joint. I think you went to the event, but then you bolted right down to San Diego right after.
Yeah. I made it though.
I made it. They're like, oh, he's at the other event. I was like,
what? I'm gonna tell you something. I came to battle Iron Monkey that night, but I came at the end of the jam, and right when I stepped in, they turned the fucking music off, dude. But we ended up a week later. We ended up battling in Arizona, man, and that was classic. If you haven't seen that, Google it. You know what I'm saying? YouTube. But yeah, so with the concepts, you've always had the one-on-one competitions and the crew competitions, either day 1 or day 2, right?
Well,
but this year you're doing it a little different. Can you explain why you chose to do that and kind of give the concept behind the?
Well, the whole reasoning why I even did a one-on-one in the first place is for the whole Undisputed concept, where we linked up like 8 to 10 of the best events in the world to try to find an ultimate like undisputed world champion, right? So that's why I even entered in the realm of doing one-on-ones, because I was always about crew battles or 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s, you know what I mean? Things that require more than one person, you know? Because to me, like, throwing a one-on-one was pretty easy, you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, so once we started, all got together and decided to do Undisputed, I was like, all right, I'll do a one-on-one. I'll just do it like day 1, and day 2 we'll do the 3-on-3, right? So we've been doing that the last three years, I think?
Right.
Maybe. Yeah, this is the 4th year. So the 20-year anniversary is this year. So I was like, you know what? I'm bringing the crew battle back, because I feel like I switched it up and did the 3-on-3 because a lot of crews weren't really entering as crews. A lot of crews weren't repping together a lot. You know what I mean? So like the participation of real crews, or even crews in general, like declined a lot. So I was like, dude, I have to reinvent the freestyle session. So one of my favorite freestyle sessions was the special edition when we did the 3-on-3 in Seattle, like in 2003 or something. And it always stuck out in my mind, man. 3, like, every crew has at least 2 or 3 hitters, so you bring the best on the table and let them go at it, So that's why I brought the 3-on-3 out, and it kind of reinvented the freestyle session again. So then we became known as the 3-on-3. But at the same time, I feel like that also like pushed the 3-on-3 ahead, and a lot of people started adopting that because it was easier to do events with 3-on-3. The prize money was higher for per person. You know what I mean? So like the crew battle started getting pushed to the side a lot. So I was like, man, I got to do something special for the 20-year anniversary. What better thing to do than to bring back the crew battle? So we brought it back. But I didn't want to rush it. I don't want to be like, okay, 3-round fucking crew battle. Like that don't even make no sense. So I just decided to make 2 separate events out of it. The one-on-one being Undisputed, and then the Freestyle Session 20-year anniversary in November as the crew battle.
I personally like that you're separating it, because it's overkill to me. You know what I'm saying?
It's overkill to me. Like, I'm dying. Like, we're in such a hurry. Like, we end up doing 1-round battles, which is stupid. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
but even for judges, right, and like the general public, right, you're seeing the same people just over and over and over. They're doing the same stuff they did in the one-on-one and the crew battles. It's just too much, right? So to give it a couple months and then separate it, it's perfect, right?
And then when cats are repping with their crews, man, like it's a whole different vibe.
Let's do some prediction right here, because I kind of see, and I know you see how it's gonna look this year with the crew battles, right? Because you can't stop super crews, you know what I'm saying, from entering, and teams. There's crews and teams, right? I could tell you personally how I would like to see it, right? And then you let me know what you think. I would like to see almost like get to a point where you separate the teams and give them a separate kind of bracket and let them do their thing, and then you have the real crews. You know what I'm saying?
I've been toying around with that idea. The only problem is that we're limited with time. I don't know everybody's history. You can know a solo b-boy. You would never, like, some people know people as solo artists, but they don't know the crew that's behind them. You know, so like I don't know everybody's history, so it's hard to like really decipher. But you know, I've kicked around the thought of separating the teams from the crews, but then also, what about these crews with the kickers? Like, where do they go? You know, like, so it's just a hard thing. You know what I mean? Like, I just got to be able to separate it when I do the brackets.
Right.
So like, I'm gonna see what's going on, who qualifies, and I'm gonna separate it accordingly. You know what I'm saying? There are crazy, you know, super crew teams and whatnot, but like, you know, at the end of the day, those teams, like, they start cutting each other off. They look real bad. Like when it goes down further into the time, you know, nothing beats the chemistry of a real crew. You know what I'm saying? It's just your mentality, man. Like if you're going up against one of those crews and you feel like they're going to be better than you, they're going to be better than you. But if you feel like if you feel your crew is the best, that's what it's going to be.
That chemistry is going to show. Like they could be blowing it up, all 10 dope individuals, but if there's no unison and if there's good judges, they're going to be able to pick up on that.
They can see that.
And it's a crew battle, so that's very, very important. It's not just about how dope you are solely. So that comes down to picking good judges too, and making sure they're on point and know that also. So yeah, I agree. It's going to be tough to kind of separate that and weed it out. And then even if you try to do that, then crews are going to be like, picking new people to get in their crew, just fake shit, and get them down, and they're only going to stay down for a year and then depart, crew hop.
A year, like a day.
Yeah, a day, man. It's crazy. We down for the weekend. We mad family for the weekend, son.
We cash our checks and balance.
That's it, man. We came and got our paper. Now I'm going to go get down with this crew because there's an event next week. Look, yeah, but, okay, so the Undisputed, let's talk about that for a second. Just the one-on-one tip, right?
Undisputed USA is in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Or probably a week by the time this comes out. But yeah, man, like I just pretty much invited people to come rep. You know what I mean? Like there's no qualifiers. The qualifier is on the day of, so everybody has to qualify. The only people that qualified are Phil from Canada, because he won Freestyle Session Canada.
Okay.
And then Gravity won Freestyle Session Texas. So they get a top 32 slot.
They're locked in.
Yeah. Everybody else has to go day one, show and prove.
Style.
Yeah, preliminary style. They crack the top 32, and the beautiful thing about the top 32 is everybody gets paid out like $50. But then also on top of that, we have there's a pro breaking tour series bonus at the end of the year, that which not really too many people know about, but like it's a $50,000 prize pool. $50,000 prize pool. So like each point that you accumulate is worth like $22, $23. So just cracking the top 32 in San Diego for Undisputed World B-Boy Series is worth $500. Yeah. And then as you go further, you can make more money. And then
what's first place?
First place is at the actual event you get $2,000, but then the bonus at the end of the year is like $2,200 or something like that.
So you have a few that are locked down, like you said, Gravity and Phil.
Yep.
And then we have a couple invited,
and
right?
then we have invited guests. We have Remind.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking on Remind, my crewmate, my brother, man, he's telling me that this is probably his last one-on-one, right?
Yeah, he said this whole year is his last one-on-ones he's doing. So I know he's locked in for Undisputed. I don't know if he's going to do anything else after that, because he turns 40 like I think a couple days after. Yeah. Because he told me, like, he's like, yo, as soon as I turn 40, dude, the one-on-ones, I'm done. I'm retired.
Man, I'm tired.
Y'all gonna have to, if you want me to do your event, you're gonna have to you're gonna have to hire me.
Yeah, I mean, but let's be honest,
he
right?
Should be,
a lot of us from the 90s and people that have been doing it for 20 plus, right? Yeah. But we've been doing it consistently, man, like nonstop.
It's crazy because we're in uncharted territory, right? Like back in the day, we see people. I mean, even at 35 or 34, they were done. You know, so like now we're getting to a place where people my age, like in their 40s, are still doing it. You know. And being competitive, like people are in their mid-30s being competitive. Like you're competitive, and you're in your 30s.
It's tough. And I'm gonna tell you, still being a competitor, I pick and choose what I want to do and when I want to do it at this point. But it's hard, you know, to keep your business together as well as be that super athlete, keeping up with everybody.
Well, the bounce back is a lot harder when you're older, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, them ice baths come in handy, right?
Yeah, dude, cryotherapy, man, it's crazy. But yeah, it's got to get to the point, what Remind is saying, you know, I agree 100% that, you know, we got to get hired to these certain individuals that have been doing it for so long to be matched up, not to necessarily go through a grueling competition, but to have one opponent, you know what I mean, and get paid to do so, because think about it like
super fights and like UFC and
UFC, exactly.
jiu-jitsu tournaments.
So let's
and
go
like,
there. If we talking about like pay scale, right? In the lowest level, UFC fighter will get 15,000 to show up and 15,000 to win, and that's the lowest level. And like we said, for a one-on-one, like the biggest one-on-ones is like 2 Gs, right?
Yeah,
but it's a stepping stone. We'll get there hopefully eventually.
It's kind of a thing that we as a whole, as the culture, as the dance community, have to come together with that. Like, because $15,000, like, you gotta amass $15,000 to the gate, to the door, to video, whatever. Like, we're giving away videos for free on YouTube. Like, like look at like a couple years ago when like Hong Ten and Physics battled. Like, nobody even wanted to pay $3 for that shit. It's like
that's the stuff that needs to change.
so
the support
like,
from the community
the
worldwide.
The whole structure of everything has to change. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? It could a sponsor could throw it down. A promoter could throw it down. Shoot, 2 big B-boys could change the game. Like, look at Mayweather and McGregor. They're changing the game. They're turning into the promoters to pay themselves.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we're doing stuff like this, like with Six Step, and different B-boys are starting their own media companies and almost kind of being promoters in a way, promoting themselves and promoting their brand.
That's what's dope about the community. Like, like I've seen, like, just traveling the world, like, I've seen B-boys learn English because they love this culture so much. They want to communicate with you.
Yeah.
They move to America to communicate with you and make their lives better. So like, like you learn how to edit videos and shit to like better your skill set and like drive to do more. It's just one of those things where we have to just kind of change the game a little bit.
So my point to all that was, for people like myself, Remind, and people that have been doing it for 20 plus years, competing 20 plus years, you could see how tough it is for the little bit of money to keep going and to keep training.
You remember back in the day, I mean, there was really no career of this. It was like we just did it,
Yeah.
So now that there's avenues to where you can make this a career now, like whether it be doing workshops all day, like every other day, or you could do it locally, or you could go on the road. You could do events, you could judge, you could coach now. Like,
that's the thing, angles. So, like, you got to have angles.
They're growing. The angles are growing. It's just maneuvering, like there's things like on the horizon that we don't even know. Like, like with the Youth Olympics, like that's gonna open up for people be able to do coaching jobs, be able to open up studios. Like, look at all the other dances. Like, you see ballet places all over the place. I don't know. There's got to be more b-boy events than ballet events. I'm pretty sure nowadays.
The key is getting it out there to the general public more, so they can get bigger and bigger. That's a good segue to the Youth Olympics. I want to end on that topic, right? I know you're involved with it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know a lot of people are curious how it's the look of it and the feel of it, how it's gonna be. If you have like any insight that you're allowed to share or want to share of how it's gonna be presented to the world,
I mean, I got involved so it doesn't get butchered. You know what I'm saying? So, the first round of eliminations was all like video based, only because we wanted to give people chances that wouldn't normally go to a b-boy event. Like some kids in some areas just don't have the means to get to an event and show you their skills.
Right.
So we put it out there. Over 1,000 b-boys from 90 different countries entered. Each country gets 5 females and 5 males from 16 to 18.
18, right.
So that's all set now. So now they all got to go to different country qualifiers, which are actually at b-boy events. So in Asia, it's at Taipei B-Boy City. In the U.S., which is continental U.S. and North America and Latin America, all those people that qualified in all those countries are going to go to Silverback Open. In Europe, it's all those people are going to be going to Battle of the Year. And then there's another one I believe there's another one in Japan.
Okay.
So all those different countries go there, and then from there they select. Out of all those events, they select the top, I think, 16 to 18. It can't be like all from one country. So like there's one representative from each country, I believe it is. It's exactly how the Olympics is run, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, so, but yeah, they're at real b-boy events. I hear people like always coming to these weird conclusions, like it's gonna be on a bouncy floor. They're gonna have gymnastics freaking judges. Like, no, we have real b-boy judges.
Another thing I hear is like losing the dance, losing the essence of what it is. Like, I guess it comes down to the judging, right? It's how much you put on the top rock, footwork, and freezes, like the fundamentals of the dance, right? And the music and musicality.
The thing is, like I think Storm and Renegade are working with a couple other people that have already been doing like scoring systems and whatnot. But those are just scoring systems like that log in your personal way of judging, right? So you're still gonna, if you happen to judge the Youth Olympics 2 years from now or 4 years from now, you're gonna be using the system, but you're still gonna be using your way of judging.
Right.
You just input it into a system. It's not to like change the dance or anything like that or tell you how to dance. Like it's just, you know, like I have my way of judging. Like a system's not gonna change the way I judge. Like I'm still gonna go whichever way I wanna. It just takes the weight off of one judge.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and everybody will see, you know, like, and when new things come to the scene, it's always been like that. It's always been like, there's always been a pushback until it gets more comfortable. And it's like, oh, I see what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be different. You know, there's always kinks to work out. You know what I mean? It's exactly like a mirror of the scene. It's also part of the scene. You know, it's just a different facet, different look. Like the whole sport side of breaking isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people compare art with sport. Like, yo, if you want to be artsy, make a theater program. Like, where's the theater programs? Where are like the shows? Like, you know, there's some people that do that for their expression, and there's some people that express through sports and the sporty aspect and the competition and the thrive to be the best. You know, but like, yeah, like once you throw it into a competition aspect, it's straight sport. You know, like we train like athletes. We are athletes. You're an athlete. Like if you weren't an athlete, you wouldn't be 30-something still doing it, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, and then plus I got into this whole Youth Olympics thing because I met with the people. They let us know about the other stuff that goes on during the Youth Olympics, which is like more cultural based. You know, like schooling kids on what's the next step after the dance. There's so many things. There's so many facets to like what's going to be going on other than the competition that I'm excited for. But those things are still getting worked out because it's a year and a half from now. And this is just the first round that we actually got pushed into because this only got implemented in November. I barely got involved in like March or April, and we just barely got done with the first round. So I think October is going to be the first one with Silverback Open. And then Battle of the Year, and then Taipei B-Boy City. Yeah. We'll see how it unfolds, you know what I mean? Like, and hey, if it doesn't work out exactly to the T of what we want, we got the next one to work on, you know? So like, and we listen to like the community, because we are the community.
Yeah, I have
you know? Like everybody, like all the judges are part of the community, all the people that are in the board are part of the community, and we're like letting the people know that run, like, you know, that are attached to the Olympics, like, look, this is the way the culture and the community think. We need to adhere to these principles because that's what we grew up and we got to this point because of that, because of these principles, you know what I mean? So
the music, are they allowing like music from artists? Like, how is that going to work out? Do you know more information on that?
I still don't know about that, but
because you know how it is with copyrights and all that stuff.
I'm guessing it's going to be probably a lot similar to like say like the BC ones. A lot of these artists are trying to rape us like with the prices of music and copywriting, and so we all as a community, like there's certain DJs that we're like, yo, let's just make our own music, you know? So like
now our own beats.
Now we're at this point, we have our own bands, like yo, like there's so many different facets that people don't really realize. They're in the behind the scenes that get pushed into corporate type things, which is what like the Olympics is, like a corporate sporting event, you know what I mean? So like, but there is gonna be music that we're pushing, you know what I mean? And it's gonna be dope, man. Like
I just hope, like even at the other events that you're talking about, I would like to see more hip hop beats implemented in the future, different tempos. You know, I think that's really important. Especially we come from the '90s era. We dance to MCs. You know what I'm saying? Like it switches up styles. It gives you a free flow state to choose whether you want to go flow with the MC, switch to the beat. But in some of these bigger competitions, that's not even an option anymore. So I would love to see that implemented in the Youth Olympics, and I hope you guys can make that happen.
But maybe when it actually gets to the real Olympics, they got a little bit of budget, you know, a lot more budget. Or if it ever gets into TV, the budgets change there, you know. So like, I think once it gets bigger and more commercial and more sponsorship involved, like that's when like I think the music that we're used to can get brought back in, you know what I mean? So like, I don't know if it's gonna happen the first go around, but like I said, it's probably gonna be more similar to DC ones, and like, you know, Silverback Open also uses music. I've done jams where I just use the band, like that's cool too, you know.
Yeah,
so
that's
like,
really dope.
but we're all on the same boat, man. We all want to hear what we already danced to. You know what I'm saying? So like, but we'll see.
Yo, so there you go. A lot of insight on the Youth Olympics. Undisputed coming up in 2 weeks. August what?
August 26th and 27th.
San Diego?
Yep. San Diego, California.
Look it up. Be there. Going to be crazy one-on-ones. And then the crew competition freestyle session is coming November what?
10, 11th, and 12th.
All right, so make it out to that. Bring your real crew. No teams, nah. You know what I mean? We can't stop the teams. Everybody do your thing. Come, vibe, have fun. You know what I'm saying? CROS1, Cros, Freestyle Session, 6 Step Inc. Peace up. We out of here.